Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we wrap up the Spanish forces from Raise the Black. And today it's a custom force in the sense that this is specifically the force of one of these special characters, which we'll also be getting to in a separate video. But Amaro Pargo's personal force here, Pargo's Marineros, as it is listed here. So roughly active 1703, 1747. So we have to, if we're going to field this, we have to have that character. Now, Pargo can be a commander for his own force, of course, or in the Guard of Costas, but let's see what his unique force actually brings us. Several special rules to start. So we're going to get +3 when determining the attacker, so a very aggressive force, right? More often than not, that will help us win that roll. Then another interesting basically set of special rules here. So all core units in the force with the sailors rule actually just get expert sailors for free. So if we really wanted to take advantage of that and have as many sailor units as possible, and a lot of Pargo special rules really do lend to him fighting on the water as well. That's a hell of an upgrade, right? And well, makes his point cost well worth it if you think about all the basically the upgrades to expert sailor that you're getting. Also, all units in this force may re-roll a failed grapple throw test once per turn. So again, if we're going to get into some boarding actions, that's, again, a nice one, right? Free re-roll without having to expend any other resources that would normally give us any kind of re-roll. So really good stuff so far. So again, a lot of economy of action there and a better special rule. Finally, all three size 3 and larger ships in this force may add up to 3 pairs of additional heavy cannons to their permitted amount, not exceeding the maximum number of cannons these ships may take. So a ship that takes these additional heavy cannons has its speed limited to 4, but oh darn. But if we have the points and want to just really upgun our firepower, that can be pretty nasty. The heavy cannons certainly can do work, although they are pricey. So really good stuff there. Now, his unit selection is not a huge amount compared to some of the forces out there, but again, it's nice and condensed and really aligned with what the force is trying to do here, and that's really be very aggressive and very powerful on the water. So the core units are Marineros and Vizcaínos. Makes sense considering his force is named Pargo's Marineros. Got to have that unit, but again, really good sailor units there. The support units, we also get Corsarios, Zeelieden from the Dutch, and also European sailors. So, right, most of our units really are going to already have sailors built in, so then we're going to get expert sailors across the board by and large. Really awesome stuff there. And then the only command option, of course, is fielding Amaro Pargo. There are no other force options or variations. We wouldn't need that. Again, it's typically not something that we see in the custom forces, but it's just a very short, sweet, simple force that does really well at its given niche here, although it really can be pretty decent all in all in a lot of other situations as well. But really, for fighting on the water, you're going to have to deal with a force that's very likely going to become the attacker in the scenario, right? If they whatever ships they have, right, are going to be fielded by basically all the way across the board elite expert sailors. And then if they are going to get into grapple range with you, they're more likely than not going to pass that, right? Because they get the free rerolls. And then really, you're going to have to very carefully choose how to engage their ships, because if they've taken the upgrades, they're going to have more heavy cannons, right? Assuming they're fielding the heavy cannons at all. But, you know, you have the incentive here if you have the points for it. And it may not be that they do this on all their ships, but certainly, like, you know, you could spread out like maybe like one extra pair of heavy cannons across your ships if you're fielding multiple ships, or really just have one supremely upgunned vessel here, and maybe use, if you have like multiple ships, again, maybe use some of the smaller ships just to kind of herd the enemy into sort of a bad position where your main ship can then just absolutely unleash with the power of more heavy cannons and just obliterate enemy ships outright, or make it so that by the time you do board them, there's really not much resistance left. And so that could be a nice one where the main ship in the fleet softens the enemy up to the point where then the smaller ships can just go in, maybe take a few pot shots still, but then also just get in there, grapple and board and win out. So a fun list. And again, we'll get to Pargo in a separate video, but really all of his special rules lend to being even better and more dangerous on the water. So let us know, guys, if you've run Pargo's special force here, how that's gone for you in various scenarios. Have you really taken advantage of the extra heavy cannons? How has that worked out for you? What typically point size do you play his custom force at? Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you very soon.